You stand at the base of a towering mountain, its peak shrouded in mist, piercing the sky like a challenge carved by the hands of time. Your boots are heavy, your breath shallow, and the weight of stillness grips you tighter than the cold wind. Why don't you move? Why does the first step feel like a leap into an abyss? Inaction is a silent thief robbing you of the life you could claim if only you dared to climb. In the journey of forcing yourself to take action day by day, this is where it begins, facing the paralyzing force of inaction, the invisible chains that bind you to the ground. You're not alone. We've all stood here staring at the impossible height, feeling the ache of dreams deferred. But today you'll understand why starting feels like scaling a sheer cliff, and more importantly, how to take that first trembling step. Feel the ground beneath you. It's time to rise. Picture yourself in a dimly lit room, a pair of running shoes untouched by the door. You've promised yourself a fitness journey, a body forged through sweat, a mind steeled by discipline. The vision is clear, a stronger, healthier you, running through the dawn with unshakable resolve. But the thought of the long road ahead stops you cold. Months of effort, endless mornings of soreness, the fear of failing after all that pain, it looms like a mountain too vast to conquer. So you sit. You scroll through images of others who've made it, their triumphant smiles a quiet accusation. I'll start tomorrow, you whisper, but tomorrow becomes next week, then next month. The shoes gather dust, and the weight of stillness grows heavier. You're not just avoiding exercise, you're avoiding the confrontation with your own limits. Every day of inaction is a stone added to the wall between you and your potential. But here's the truth buried beneath the excuses: that mountain isn't moving. It waits for you, patient and unyielding, just as it did for the climber frozen at its base. I remember a moment like this in my own life, standing before a mirror, seeing not just a reflection, but a choice. I chose to lace up those shoes to stumble through that first painful mile. It wasn't the finish line that changed me, it was the decision to start. As Jim Rohn once said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That first step, clumsy as it was, cracked the shell of inaction. You can feel that crack too if you just move. The lesson here echoes the climber's plight. You don't need to see the peak to begin. You don't need a perfect plan or a guarantee of success. You need only to lift your foot to defy the gravity of doubt for one fleeting second. That's where the journey begins, not at the summit, but at the base where the weight of stillness is heaviest. The takeaway is clear: the hardest battle isn't against the mountain, it's against the voice that says, stay still. Now imagine a different scene. You sit at a desk, a blank page glaring back at you like an unblinking eye. You're an aspiring writer, a storyteller, with a universe of ideas swirling in your mind, but your fingers hover over the keys, paralyzed. What if the words fall flat? What if your story is laughed at, or worse, ignored? The fear of imperfection is a storm raging within, drowning out the quiet call to create. So you wait for inspiration, for the right moment, as if it will descend like a divine gift. Hours turn to days and the page remains empty. The weight of stillness binds you to this chair, a prisoner of your own hesitation. I've felt this storm myself, staring at a blank screen, my heart racing with the terror of being unworthy. But one day I typed a single imperfect sentence. It was terrible, but it was mine. And with each word that followed, the storm began to quiet. As Stephen King wrote in On Writing, the scariest moment is always just before you start. After that, it gets better. You see, the mountain isn't the finished book or the acclaim of readers. It's the courage to write that first line, to stand at the base and refuse to be frozen by fear. The lesson ties to our climbers' struggle in action isn't safety, it's surrender. Starting even with trembling hands is the first victory. The takeaway resonates: your story, like your climb, begins with defying the silence. Let's pause and look deeper into this invisible force that roots you to the ground. Inaction isn't just a choice, it's a slow poison seeping into your spirit, dulling the fire that once burned for change. It's the shadow of a mountain cast long before you even attempt the ascent. Why does starting feel so impossible? Because the mind builds barriers taller than any peak: fear of failure, dread of the unknown, the illusion that tomorrow will be kinder. But here's a truth as old as the earth itself: the mountain doesn't care about your doubts. It stands unmoved, waiting for you to decide. How many dreams have you buried under the weight of not yet? How many summits have you abandoned before even touching the slope? Think of inaction as a frozen river, its surface deceptively still, while the current rages beneath. You see only the ice, believing it's safer to stand than to break through. But beneath that stillness, your potential churns, desperate for release. The climber at the base of the mountain feels this too, a heart pounding, with the urge to climb, yet feet cemented by hesitation. Pain is not the enemy here. Stillness is. Pain means movement, growth, life. Stillness means decay. You must shatter the ice even if the first crack stings. Reflect on this. The weight of inaction isn't lifted by waiting for the perfect moment. It's lifted by choosing to act flawed and afraid as you are. That's the first step up the mountain, a step toward yourself. Now consider the peak itself, that distant point shrouded in mist. It feels unreachable, doesn't it? Not because it's too high, but because your mind has painted it as a myth, a place reserved for others, those braver, stronger, more worthy. This illusion is the true weight of stillness, a lie that keeps you tethered to the base. But what if the peak isn't the goal at all? What if the real triumph is in the climb, in the scraped knees and burning lungs, in the refusal to stay frozen? Have you ever stopped to ask why you believe you're not enough to begin? Picture the climber again, eyes fixed on the summit, missing the beauty of the first ledge just above. The mountain teaches us this progress isn't a destination. It's a series of small, stubborn steps. Each one chips away at the illusion of impossibility. Like a seed breaking through stone to reach the sun, your potential doesn't need permission to grow, it needs action. Inaction whispers that the peak is too far, but action reveals that every step reshapes the mountain in your favor. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. The weight of stillness dissolves not when you reach the top, but when you refuse to stay at the bottom. That's a truth you must carry with you. So how do you shatter this weight of stillness? How do you force yourself to take action when every fiber screams to stay put? It starts with a single deliberate choice. Pause right now wherever you are. Look at the mountain before you. Whether it's a fitness goal, a creative dream, or a personal transformation, ask yourself, what's one tiny step I can take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If it's fitness, put on those shoes and walk for 5 minutes. If it's writing, type one sentence, no matter how rough. That's your first foothold on the slope. Make this a ritual. Set a timer for 5 minutes each day to act on your goal, no excuses. When doubt creeps in, write down one reason you started this journey. Keep it close, a reminder of your fire. The climber doesn't conquer the mountain in one leap. They carve their path, one grip at a time. You must do the same. Action, even small, is a hammer striking the chains of inaction. Each swing weakens the hold. Start now. Feel the ground shift beneath you. You're already climbing. Another barrier to action is the fear of imperfection, the dread of stumbling before you've even begun. You must face this head on. When you feel paralyzed, take a deep breath and visualize the climber at the base. They don't wait for flawless conditions. They climb through rain and wind, knowing each misstep is a lesson. Adopt this mindset. Accept that your first attempt, your first run, your first draft will be messy. That's not failure. That's proof you're alive, moving, growing. Here's a practical tool: create a first draft rule. Tell yourself that today's action doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Run slowly, write badly, but do it. Then reflect for 1 minute afterward. What did I learn? This shifts your focus from fear to progress. The weight of stillness thrives on your need for perfection, but action starves it. Take that imperfect step today. You're not crafting a masterpiece. You're laying the first stone of a cathedral. Build on it tomorrow. Keep climbing. You've stood at the base of your mountain long enough, feeling the weight of stillness press down on your shoulders. You've seen how inaction paralyzes, how it builds illusions of unreachable peaks and impossible starts. Through stories of unstarted fitness journeys and blank pages, through reflections on the silent poison of hesitation, you've uncovered a vital truth. The hardest battle isn't against the mountain. It's against the voice that says, stay still. The takeaway is undeniable. Starting, no matter how small or imperfect, is the only way to break free. You don't need to see the summit to begin. You need only to move to defy the gravity of doubt with one trembling step. As we prepare to journey further into forcing yourself to take action day by day, carry this insight with you. The path ahead will test your resolve, but you've already taken the first step by facing the weight of stillness. Remember the climber frozen, no more reaching for that first ledge. You are that climber. Keep moving one foothold at a time. Take the first step. The mountain waits for no one. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a mighty river, its current fierce and unyielding, carving its path through ancient stone. Every ripple, every surge battles resistance with relentless force, shaping the unmovable over time. This is you right now, facing the inner voices of doubt and procrastination that threaten to stall your every step. They whisper, not today, tomorrow, later. But the river doesn't wait for permission, it moves, and so must you. In the grand journey of forcing yourself to take action day by day, this is your battle within a war against the inertia that binds you to stillness. Feel the current of your own will stirring. You're not just fighting to move forward. You're forging your very essence inch by hard-won inch. Let's dive into this struggle, confront those sabotaging voices, and learn how to push through just as the river reshapes the stone. Imagine yourself as a student sitting at a cluttered desk, textbooks open but untouched. The weight of exams looms like a storm on the horizon, and every page you need to read feels like a mountain to climb. Your phone buzzes incessantly, a siren call of social media promising a quick escape. Just 5 minutes, the voice in your head coos. 5 minutes turn to an hour. Guilt creeps in, but doubt is louder. You're not ready. You'll fail anyway. Why even try? Each day the cycle repeats. You intend to study, but distraction wins. Procrastination isn't just a delay. It's a thief stealing your future one scroll at a time. But then something shifts. One evening, exhausted by your own excuses, you pause. You silence the phone, place it out of reach, and stare at the open book. Your heart races with resistance, but you force your hand to turn the page. It's not easy. Every word feels like wading through mud. Yet as minutes pass, a quiet strength builds. You realize this isn't about mastering the material in one night, it's about showing up. Like a river pushing through stone, you battle the resistance of your own mind, carving a path through doubt. That night you study for an hour. The next day you do it again. The lesson sinks deep, action, even smaller roads, the hardest barriers. You're not perfect, but you're moving. And that's the victory. Now picture yourself as a small business owner, your dream just beginning to take shape. You've got a list of potential clients to call, each number a doorway to growth. But as you hold the phone, a cold wave of fear washes over you. What if they say no? What if they laugh? What if I'm not good enough? The voice of doubt is relentless, painting vivid pictures of rejection. Procrastination offers an easy out. I'll call tomorrow. I need to prepare more. Days turn into weeks, your list sits untouched, and your dream stagnates. The fear of failure becomes a cage locking you in place. One morning, though, you've had enough. You sit at your desk, hands trembling, and dial the first number. Your voice cracks, the client declines, and it stings. But you don't stop. You dial the next, and the next. With each call, the fear lessens, not because rejection disappears, but because you realize it can't break you. Like a river grinding against stone, each attempt smooths the rough edges of your hesitation. By the end of the day, one client says yes. It's a small win, but it's proof action transforms fear into fuel. The takeaway is clear daily effort, no matter how daunting, carves your path forward. You don't wait for courage, you build it through movement. Let's step back and look at this battle within. Doubt and procrastination are not mere annoyances. They are the stone walls standing between you and your potential. They are ancient, heavy, and seem unbreakable. But consider the river. Does it rage against the stone in frustration? No. It flows, it persists, it wears down the impossible over time through steady, unyielding pressure. So too must you face the voices that tell you to stop. They are loud, yes, but they are not your truth. They are echoes of fear, not forecasts of failure. How many times have you let a single what if drown out your will to act? How many visions have you abandoned because the first step felt too heavy? Understand, this resistance is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you're on the edge of growth. Every time you hesitate, you're standing at the threshold of transformation. The river doesn't choose an easier path, it confronts the stone head-on. So must you. When doubt whispers, let it speak, but don't let it decide. When procrastination tempts, acknowledge its pull, but don't bow to it. You are the current, and your daily action, however small, has the power to reshape even the hardest obstacles. Embrace the struggle. It's not your enemy, it's your proving ground. There's a deeper truth we must face: inaction is heavier than any effort. When you procrastinate, you carry the burden of unfulfilled potential. Each day you delay, the weight grows, pressing down on your spirit. Doubt thrives in stillness, feeding on your regrets. Have you ever noticed how a single skipped task can spiral into a week of avoidance? How the guilt of not starting becomes a chain binding you tighter than any fear of failure ever could? Think of yourself as the river once more. When a river stops flowing, it stagnates. Algae forms, life withers, and its purpose is lost. So it is with you. Action, even imperfect, keeps your spirit alive. It's not about grand leaps. It's about the daily push against the stone of resistance. Every step you take, every call you make, every page you read is a defiance of stagnation. Painful sometimes, necessary always. As Jim Rohn once said, we must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Choose the pain of discipline. Let it carve you into something stronger. The river doesn't apologize for its force. Neither should you. When doubt strikes, and it will, don't let it rule you. Here's how to confront it head on. First, pause. Don't react to the voice that says you can't. Instead, breathe deep and ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take right now? Maybe it's opening a book, drafting an email, or picking up the phone. Break the mountain into pebbles. Focus on that one move. Second, write down one reason to keep going. It could be as simple as I want to prove to myself I can. Seeing it on paper anchors you. Third, set a timer for 5 minutes. Tell yourself you'll work just that long. Often starting is the hardest part, and momentum carries you further. This isn't about silencing doubt forever. It's about acting despite it. Like the river pushing through stone, your small, deliberate actions erode resistance over time. As Mel Robbins teaches in the 5-second rule. If you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill the idea. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. You're not waiting for motivation. You're creating it through movement. Try this today. Watch how doubt shrinks when you refuse to let it decide. Procrastination is a sly opponent, always offering a later that never comes. To outmaneuver it, build a shield of intention. Start by identifying your trigger, what pulls you away. Is it a notification, a thought, a feeling of overwhelm? Name it. Then create a barrier. If it's your phone, put it in another room while you work. If it's overwhelm, break your task into one tiny piece and commit to only that. Next, use a start ritual. Maybe it's a deep breath, a quick stretch, or a phrase like, let's begin. This signals to your mind that action is non-negotiable. Finally, reward the effort, not the outcome. After completing your small step, acknowledge it, say to yourself, I did that. This builds a cycle of positive reinforcement. Remember, the river doesn't celebrate reaching the ocean. It finds strength in every inch it gains against the stone. As Brian Tracy advises in Eat That Frog, the hardest part of any important task is getting started on it in the first place. Tackle the first step now, no matter how small. Force yourself to act today, and tomorrow will feel lighter. In this battle within, you face the voices of doubt and procrastination head on. You've seen through the stories of the student and the entrepreneur that resistance is not your end, it's your beginning. Each day you force yourself to take action. You mirror the river, pushing through the stone of your fears and hesitations, carving a path to your true potential. The key lesson here is takeaway. It's not about perfection, but persistence. It's not about waiting for the right moment, but creating it through your will to move. You've learned that small steps taken daily erode even the toughest barriers. Doubt will linger, procrastination will tempt, but they cannot stop a current determined to flow. As we prepare to journey further, carry this truth with you. Your power lies in the push, in the choice to act despite the weight. Let the river be your guide. Keep moving, keep battling, keep carving your way forward. Be the current, Wear down the stone with every step. Picture a blacksmith at dawn standing before a roaring forge. The iron lies cold, stubborn, unyielding on the anvil. Each strike of the hammer sparks fire, each blow echoes with purpose. But the transformation isn't instant. It's grueling, repetitive, relentless. And yet with every hit, the iron bends, strengthens, becomes something greater. That's you right now. You stand before your own anvil, your life, your goals, your dreams. The iron is your resistance, your doubt, your fading motivation. Building the discipline to act every day, even when the fire of inspiration dims, is your hammer. Within the grand journey of forcing yourself to take action day by day, this is your crucible. Feel the weight of that hammer in your hands. Hear the clang of your will against the odds. You're not just shaping metal, you're forging yourself. Are you ready to strike even when every muscle screams to stop? Let's dive into the heat of this battle and discover how daily action, no matter how small, builds an unbreakable you. Imagine yourself as a runner lacing up worn sneakers in the gray hush of morning. The world outside your window is a beast rain, pelts the ground like 1,000 tiny fists, or the cold bites at any exposed skin. Your body aches from yesterday's miles. Your mind whispers, rest, just today. What's one missed run? The bed calls like a siren, warm and forgiving. But you've been here before. You know that skipping today plants a seed of surrender for tomorrow. So you force the door open. You step into the storm. Each stride is a battle legs heavy as stone lungs burning like embers. Yet with every step, something shifts. The rain no longer feels like punishment. It's a test. The exhaustion isn't defeat. It's proof of your grit. Days turn to weeks. Some mornings the sun greets you with golden warmth. Others, the wind howls in defiance. But you show up. Not because you feel invincible, but because you've learned a truth. Motivation is a fickle flame, easily snuffed by life's gusts. Discipline, though, is the forge that keeps the fire alive. One particular morning stands out, your breath, visible in the icy air, your feet slipping on a muddy path. You nearly turn back, but you grit your teeth and push on, finishing the run slower than ever, yet stronger in spirit. That day you realize you're not just running miles, you're hammering iron. Each step is a strike, shaping your will into something unbendable. This mirrors the blacksmith's craft. The iron doesn't transform in one blow. It's the relentless repetition, the choice to strike again, that creates a blade. So too with your daily action. The lesson burns clear, tied to the takeaway of this journey: consistency, even in the face of resistance, forges strength you didn't know you had. You don't need to feel ready, you just need to move. One step, one day, one strike at a time. Now picture yourself as a freelancer, hunched over a laptop in a dimly lit room. The world outside buzzes with the stories of overnight success, colleagues landing dream clients, peers boasting six-figure deals. Meanwhile, your inbox sits empty. No feedback, no rewards, just the quiet hum of your own doubt. You've set a goal, one task every day, whether it's drafting a proposal, designing a mock-up, or sending a cold email. But today, the weight of invisibility presses down. What's the point? Your mind snarls. No one sees this. No one cares. Your fingers hover over the keyboard, itching to close the laptop and escape into distraction. But you don't. You force yourself to type one sentence, then another. The task is small, maybe a single email pitch, but it's done. You shut the laptop feeling no triumph, just a quiet resolve. Days stack like bricks. Some bring tiny wins, a polite reply, a spark of interest. Most bring silence, yet you keep showing up. One evening after months of this grind, a client responds. It's not a jackpot, just a small project, but it's proof. Proof that every unseen task was a strike on the anvil, shaping your future even when you couldn't see the form. Like the blacksmith, you've learned that transformation hides in the mundane. The iron doesn't gleam after one hit. It's the daily unglamorous blows that craft a masterpiece. The takeaway resonates here. Discipline isn't about applause or instant results. It's about hammering on day by day until your persistence sharpens into something unstoppable. You didn't wait for motivation. You built it one task at a time. Let's pause and look deeper. Building discipline to act every day even when motivation fades isn't just a habit, it's a rebellion against your own nature. You're wired for comfort, for the path of least resistance. Your mind is a river, always seeking the easiest course, eroding resolve with whispers of later or tomorrow. But rivers don't carve mountains. You do. Think about it. How many visions have you let slip through your fingers because the first step felt too heavy? How many times have you traded enduring growth for fleeting ease? Consider the blacksmith at his forge. The iron resists every strike. It doesn't want to change. It fights the hammer just as your doubts fight your will. But the blacksmith doesn't flinch. He knows that resistance isn't the enemy. It's the raw material of strength. Each blow, though it jars his bones, hones the metal. So too with you. Every day you force yourself to act, be it a runner braving the storm or a freelancer typing through silence, you're striking against resistance. You're not just building a habit, you're forging an unyielding core. Pain isn't your captor, it's your crucible. Exhaustion isn't your limit, it's your proving ground. Embrace it. Let it shape you. The takeaway of this journey glows like molten iron. Daily action, no matter how small, turns resistance into resilience. Dive deeper still. Discipline isn't a single act of heroism. It's a rhythm, a cadence, a heartbeat. It's not about grand gestures or bursts of willpower. It's about the quiet, steady pulse of showing up. Think of the blacksmith again. His hammer falls not in chaotic frenzy, but in measured strikes. Each one builds on the last, each one moves the iron closer to its destiny. What if you saw your days like that? What if every small choice to act, every run, every task, every step was a beat in the song of your transformation? Motivation is a spark, beautiful but fleeting. It ignites, then fades under the weight of life's storms. Discipline, though, is the bellows that fans the flame. It doesn't care if you're inspired. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It demands you strike again and again until the rhythm becomes your nature. As James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your system is your hammer's rhythm. Build it, protect it, let it carry you when the spark dims. The takeaway shines through daily action isn't about feeling ready. It's about forging a rhythm that outlasts doubt. Now let's get grounded. Building discipline to act every day starts with a single non-negotiable anchor. Choose one small action, something so simple it's almost laughable. Maybe it's 5 minutes of writing a single push-up or stepping outside for a breath of air. Tie it to a specific trigger in your day, like brushing your teeth or brewing coffee. When that moment comes, act. No debate, no excuses. Your mind will protest, weaving stories of fatigue or futility. Ignore it. Move. If doubt creeps in, pause. Write down one reason you started this journey. Tape it somewhere visible: your desk, your mirror, your soul. Let it stare back at you when the hammer feels too heavy. Remember, the blacksmith doesn't question each strike. He trusts the process. So must you. Start with one anchor, one blow. Build from there. The takeaway holds firm consistency, even in tiny doses, forges unshakable strength. One day, one action, one step closer to who you're meant to be. Here's another tool to wield. The hardest moment in building discipline isn't the middle or the end, it's the start. That first push against inertia is where most battles are lost. So prepare for it. When you wake or when your task looms, expect resistance. It will come as a whisper, a weight, a wave of "not today." Don't fight it with willpower alone. Outsmart it. Break your action into a laughably small first step. Not a full run, just put on your shoes. Not a full project, just open the document. Trick your mind into motion. Once you start, momentum often carries you. If it doesn't stop after that first step, and call it a win. Tomorrow, do it again. As Mel Robbins teaches in the 5-second rule, if you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds, or your brain will kill the idea. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Strike the iron while it's hot. The takeaway echoes: daily action begins with outlasting that first resistance. Win that fight and the rest follows. You've walked through the forge of discipline, felt the heat of resistance, and heard the clang of daily action shaping your will. Building the discipline to act every day, even when motivation fades, isn't a gift bestowed by chance. It's a craft honed by relentless strikes against the iron of your doubts. Whether you're the runner braving the storm or the freelancer grinding in silence, you've seen the truth. Every small choice to move forward builds an unbreakable core. The takeaway of this journey burns bright consistency, even in the smallest doses forges a strength that no storm can shatter. As we step beyond this anvil, carry this fire with you. The next chapter of forcing yourself to take action day by day awaits, where new challenges will test the metal you've shaped. But for now, stand tall, grip your hammer. Let each day be a strike, each choice a spark. You're not just building habits, you're forging a legacy. Strike today, forge tomorrow. Picture yourself as a farmer standing on the edge of a vast barren field. The soil beneath your boots is dry, cracked, and unyielding. You hold a single seed in your hand, a fragile promise of something greater. The wind howls doubt into your ear. Why toil when there's no sign of life? Why labor when the harvest feels like a myth? Yet deep within, you know the truth. Every seed planted, every drop of sweat is a quiet act of defiance against despair. This field, this struggle is your life. And the hidden harvest of your daily action awaits, invisible yet inevitable, if you dare to stay the course. Welcome to the heart of forcing yourself to take action day by day. This journey isn't about instant glory or thunderous applause. It's about the slow, unseen growth beneath the surface, the roots that spread silently while the world above sees nothing. You are the farmer of your dreams, and today we uncover the power of trusting in the barren soil of effort. Feel the weight of that seed in your palm. It's time to plant, to labor, to believe, even when the field looks empty. Let's walk this path together and unearth the hidden harvest of your persistence. Imagine yourself as a young musician hunched over a piano in a dimly lit room. Your fingers ache as they stumble through the same scales day after day, month after month. The notes are mechanical, uninspired, and no one notices. Friends pass by, chasing quick thrills while you're stuck in this relentless loop. Why bother? The voice in your head sneers. You're no prodigy. No one hears your music. The temptation to quit burns hot, but something, call it grit, call it hunger, keeps you at the keys. You force yourself to play one day at a time, even when the silence feels like failure. Months turn into a year. Your hands grow steadier, though the world still ignores you. Then one evening, a small opportunity emerges, a local recital barely attended. You step onto the stage, heart pounding, and let your fingers dance. The notes, once clumsy, now weave into a melody that silences the room. The audience, sparse as it is, erupts. For the first time you see it, the hidden harvest. All those lonely hours, all those unseen scales, have forged a skill no one can ignore. You're not just playing, you're commanding the air itself. Think of the farmer gazing at barren soil for months, trusting that beneath the surface seeds are stirring. Your daily practice was your seed planted in the emptiness of doubt. As Stephen R. Covey reminds us in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, private victories precede public victories. Your quiet, consistent action built a foundation no one saw until it bloomed. The lesson is clear: the harvest of daily effort may hide, but it always ripens in time. Now picture yourself as someone scraping by paycheck to paycheck. Life is a tightrope, and every expense feels like a gust threatening to knock you off. But one day you decide to act. You set aside a tiny sum, $5, maybe 10 each day. It's laughable, almost insulting compared to your needs. You could spend it on a fleeting comfort, a coffee, a distraction. Yet you force yourself to save day by day, even when it feels pointless. The jar on your shelf grows heavier, but the change is so slow you barely notice. Years pass. Doubt creeps in. What's the use? This won't change anything. Then a crisis hits: an unexpected bill, a broken car, a sudden need. You reach for that jar, now a small vault of disciplined days, and realize it's enough. Not just enough to survive, but to breathe easy, to stand tall. The daily sacrifice, so small it seemed invisible, has compounded into a fortress of security. You're not just surviving, you've built a quiet fortune. Like the farmer who tills the soil through endless winters, trusting in a harvest he cannot see. Your daily action, those tiny deposits, yielded abundance when you needed it most. This mirrors the wisdom of Dave Ramsey, who in the Total Money Makeover declares small, smart choices done consistently over time create massive results. Your field of effort looked barren, but beneath it, wealth was growing. The takeaway shines bright: daily action, no matter how small. Plant seeds that one day feed your future. Let's pause and dig deeper into the nature of this hidden harvest. You see, life doesn't reward the impatient. It doesn't bow to those who demand instant blooms. Your daily actions, whether practicing a skill, saving a dollar, or simply showing up, are like seeds buried in the earth. Above ground, there's nothing to show for it. The field looks dead desolate, but beneath in the unseen darkness, transformation brews, roots stretch, strength builds. Do you realize how many dreams you've abandoned because you couldn't see the growth? How many fields you've left untilled because the soil looked barren? Consider the farmer once more. He doesn't curse the earth for its silence. He doesn't uproot his seeds to check their progress. He trusts the process, knowing that nature works on its own timeline. So must you. Your effort is not wasted even when the world offers no proof. Pain, boredom, and doubt are not your enemies. They are the soil itself, rich with the nutrients of growth. Every day you push forward, you fertilize that soil. Every time you refuse to quit, you water the seed. The harvest is coming, but only for those who endure the barren seasons. Now let's confront a lie you've been sold, that speed equals success. The world glorifies overnight triumphs, instant fame, rapid riches. But ask yourself, how many of those stories are true? How often do you see the decades of toil behind the sudden victory? The hidden harvest isn't a sprint. It's a slow, deliberate march. It's the river carving a canyon through stone, not the flash flood that vanishes by morning. Your daily action is that river, steady, unassuming, yet unstoppable over time. Think of the farmer again, rising before dawn to tend his field. He doesn't expect a crop by noon. He knows that abundance is a promise kept only through patience. So why do you rush? Why do you measure your worth by today's yield instead of tomorrow's bounty? Your daily grind is not a punishment. It's a privilege. Each step, each swing of the hoe shapes the landscape of your future. Trust in the slowness. Revel in the quiet. The harvest hides, but it never lies. Here's a tool to keep you grounded. When the field of effort feels empty, track your invisible progress. Grab a notebook or a simple app, and at the end of each day, write down one action you took toward your goal. It could be as small as reading a page, walking a mile, or saving a coin. Don't judge the size, just record the act. Over weeks, flip back through those pages. You'll see a pattern, a quiet accumulation of effort that, like seeds beneath the soil, is building something greater. When doubt strikes, and it will revisit this log. Ask yourself, am I closer today than I was a month ago? The answer almost always is yes. This isn't about instant results, it's about proof of your persistence. Like the farmer who marks each row he's planted, tracking your actions reminds you that the harvest is forming, even if you can't see it yet. Force yourself to take action day by day and let this record be your anchor. Next, shift your focus from the harvest to the labor itself. When the field of your life feels barren, pause and honor the work. At the end of each week, reflect on the effort you've poured in. Did you show up? Did you plant even one seed of progress? Then celebrate that. Not with grand rewards, but with quiet acknowledgement, a moment of gratitude for your own resolve. Whisper to yourself, I tilled the soil today. That's enough. This mindset rewires your soul. Instead of craving visible results, you learn to value the act of tending. The farmer doesn't mourn the empty field. He finds pride in the sweat on his brow. So should you. When frustration looms, step back. Breathe. Remind yourself that every day of action is a victory over inaction. Keep moving. The soil remembers your touch, and it will yield in time. Finally, let's stand on the edge of that field once more and embrace a timeless truth. The harvest is not a gift, it's a law. Nature doesn't betray the farmer who toils. The earth doesn't mock the seed that waits. If you act daily, if you force yourself to move, even when the ground feels hard, the yield is inevitable. Not because you're lucky, but because consistency is a force as old as time itself. As Jim Rohn once said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. What are you planting right now? What small daily actions are you embedding in the soil of your life? Don't fear the barren stretches. Don't dread the silence. The hidden harvest is not a myth. It's a certainty for those who refuse to abandon the field. You are crafting abundance even now in ways you cannot yet see. Trust the law of effort. Keep planting. The earth always keeps its promise. As we step away from this barren field, let's carry the truth of the hidden harvest in our hearts. You've seen it in the musician whose silent scales became a symphony. You've felt it in the saver whose tiny deposits built a fortress. You've learned that daily action, though invisible, is never in vain. The lesson of this journey, takeaway, burns bright. The rewards of your effort may hide, but they never disappear. They grow beneath the surface, waiting for the moment you're ready to reap. So stand tall, farmer of your own destiny. Trust the soil of struggle. Revel in the quiet labor of each day. The harvest is coming not as a fleeting gift, but as a testament to your unyielding will. As we move forward, prepare to face new fields, new challenges, but always with the same resolve. Force yourself to take action day by day, and let the earth beneath you whisper of abundance yet to come. Keep planting. Your harvest is already taking root. Picture yourself standing on a jagged cliff, the ocean roaring below as a storm tears through the night. Rain stings your face, winds howl in defiance. Yet there, piercing the chaos, stands a lighthouse, unyielding its beam, cutting through the darkness. You are that lighthouse. Life's tempests will rage, challenges will batter your foundation. But when you embrace daily action as a way of life, you become unshakable. You don't just survive the storm, you guide others through it. Welcome to a truth as old as the tides. Forcing yourself to take action day by day isn't a burden, it's your power. It's the quiet choice to rise when you're weary, to step forward when doubt claws at your resolve. In this moment, I'm speaking directly to you. Feel the weight of your potential. Understand that becoming unshakable isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, deliberate moves you make when no one's watching. Let's stand through the storm together, harnessing the strength of daily action to light even the darkest nights. Imagine a single parent named Maya, her day's a whirlwind of chaos. She wakes at dawn bleary-eyed to prepare breakfast for her 2 young children before rushing to a job that barely covers the bills. Her nights are spent mending clothes, helping with homework, and soothing nightmares. The dream of a better future, a home of their own, a college fund for her kids feels like a distant star, unreachable in the storm of endless responsibilities. There are days when exhaustion wins, when she stares at the clock and wonders, why keep fighting? Why not settle for this? Yet Maya refuses to break. She forces herself to take action day by day. She carves out 30 minutes each evening to study for a certification that could land her a better job. She saves a few dollars each week, even when it means skipping her own small comforts. Each action is a brick in the foundation of her future, laid in silence, unseen by the world. The conflict rages within her. Time is scarce, energy scarcer, but she presses on. She knows that to stop is to let the storm swallow her dreams. One day, after months of grinding, Maya passes her certification. A new job offer follows, a small but real step toward stability. As she tucks her children into bed that night, she feels it. The storm still rages, but she stands taller. Like a lighthouse enduring the fiercest gales, she remains unshakable, her daily actions lighting a path, not just for herself, but for her family. The lesson burns bright, consistent, small steps, taken in the face of chaos, forge an unbreakable spirit. As we'll see, it's not about the size of the action, but the resolve to keep moving. Now picture Alex, a man who once had it all, a thriving career, a loving partner, a life brimming with purpose. Then in a heartbeat, tragedy strikes. A sudden loss leaves him hollow, his world reduced to ash. Grief becomes his storm, a relentless force that threatens to drown him. Days blur into weeks. Getting out of bed feels like scaling a mountain. Friends urge him to move on, but the weight of his pain anchors him. Why try, why act when the light has gone out? But Alex makes a choice. He forces himself to take one deliberate step each day toward healing. At first, it's as simple as opening the curtains to let in the sun. Then it's a short walk around the block, feeling the air against his skin. He journals his thoughts, not to erase the pain, but to face it. Each action is a battle, a quiet rebellion against despair. The conflict is raw. Some days he falters, tempted to retreat into darkness. Yet he persists day by day, rebuilding himself from the wreckage. Months pass, and Alex finds himself volunteering at a local support group, sharing his story to help others. The pain hasn't vanished, but it no longer defines him. Like a lighthouse standing firm through the darkest nights, his daily actions have become his beacon. He learns that healing isn't a destination. It's a journey of small, intentional steps. The takeaway echoes Maya's story. Unshakability isn't born from avoiding the storm, but from standing through it one day at a time. Let's pause and look deeper. What makes a lighthouse endure when the fiercest storms strike? It's not just the stone it's built from, but the purpose it holds to shine no matter the cost. You carry that same purpose within you. Embracing daily action as a way of life isn't about waiting for perfect conditions. It's about choosing to light the way even when the night feels endless. Think about it. How many times have you delayed your dreams waiting for the storm to pass? How often have you underestimated the power of one small step taken today? Life will always bring tempests. Challenges will test your foundation, whether it's a grueling workload, a personal loss, or the quiet gnaw of self-doubt. But unshakability isn't a gift bestowed on the fortunate. It's a skill you forge through repetition. Each time you act, even when you'd rather hide, you strengthen your resolve. You become the lighthouse not just for yourself, but for those lost in their own darkness. Consider the seed buried in soil. Does it wait for sunlight to break through, or does it push upward, trusting the struggle will shape it? Your daily actions are that push. They carve your path even when you can't see the horizon. Let's go further. What if the storms aren't your enemy, but your sculptor? Every challenge, every setback is a chisel, shaping you into something greater. Embracing daily action means welcoming this process. You don't flinch at the rain. You stand taller in it. You don't curse the wind. You let it teach you balance. Like a lighthouse battered by waves, yet standing prouder for it, your resilience grows with every test. Have you ever considered how much stronger you are today because of the storms you've already endured? This isn't mere endurance, it's transformation. Each time you force yourself to act, you're not just surviving, you're evolving. The parent juggling endless tasks, the individual rebuilding from loss, they aren't just getting by, they're becoming unshakable. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Your daily actions are that effort, the quiet hammer strikes that shape your destiny. So embrace the storm. Let it rage. Your light will only burn brighter for it. Now let's ground this in action. Becoming unshakable starts with a single deliberate choice each day. When the storm of overwhelm hits, whether it's a packed schedule or a wave of doubt, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what is one small step I can take right now to move forward? It might be writing one email, walking for 10 minutes, or simply organizing your desk. The size doesn't matter. The intent does. That one choice anchors you like a lighthouse rooted against the tide. Make this a ritual. Write down your one daily action each morning or set a reminder on your phone. When you complete it, acknowledge it, feel the victory, no matter how small. This builds momentum. As James Clear advises in Atomic Habits, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So start. Force yourself to act even when the winds howl. That single step is your defiance, your proof that the storm doesn't own you. Here's another tool to stand through the storm. Doubt will creep in, it's inevitable. When it does, don't let it dim your light. Instead, guard it with intention. Each evening, take 5 minutes to reflect. What did I do today to move forward? Write down one action, no matter how minor, then ask, what will I do tomorrow to keep my light burning? This practice turns daily action into a shield against despair. If doubt grows louder, counter it with evidence. Keep a small journal or note on your phone, listing every step you've taken over the past week. Look at it when you waver. See how far you've come. Remember, a lighthouse doesn't question its purpose. It shines. So must you. Force yourself to act day by day and let each step remind you of your strength. Your consistency will make you unshakable. Finally, let's reflect on permanence. A lighthouse doesn't choose when to shine. It stands as a constant, a promise that light will always pierce the dark. Your commitment to daily action must be the same. Embracing this as a way of life means accepting that challenges will never cease, but neither will your resolve. How many times have you let a single failure dim your beam? How often have you forgotten that every new day is a chance to stand again? Unshakability is a vow to yourself, to your purpose. It's the understanding that action, even in its smallest form, is your rebellion against chaos. As Viktor Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man, But one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Your daily actions are that choice. They are your eternal beam cutting through the storm, lighting the way not just for today, but for all the tomorrows yet to come. Look back at the journey we've taken. We've seen Maya, the parent who built a future through quiet daily grit. We've walked with Alex, who rebuilt his life one painful step at a time. We've stood as the lighthouse, enduring storms, shining through the darkest nights. The key lesson burns clear: embracing daily action as a way of life transforms you into an unshakable force, capable of weathering any challenge. It's not about speed or perfection. It's about showing up day after day with purpose in your heart. As we move forward, carry this truth with you. The storms will come, let them. You are the lighthouse rooted in resolve, your beam, a testament to the power of consistent action. Prepare to deepen this strength in the chapters ahead, where we'll explore how to sustain this fire even when the winds grow fiercer. For now, stand tall. Force yourself to act. Let your light guide you through. Stand firm. Your light endures every storm.